Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. I hope you can hear me okay. I turned up all the settings that I could. Yeah, volume's at 100%. I also love how this video, this like black screen, you can tell around the corner right here that it's not the same color and it's driving me up a wall. But I was like, I need to like conceal what we're gonna be working on today. So I wanted to make a video about everything that is going on with this Star Wars situation. It's been a mess. Now, a lot of this stuff is spoilers for the Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. So if you haven't seen that, then spoilers ahead. Yeah, it's a mess. So most of this is pertaining to The Rise of Skywalker. Some of this is just pertaining to other stuff, but the majority is, so, again, spoilers. Um, this has just been crazy. So, I woke up about an hour ago. As soon as I woke up, I look on Twitter because I want to know, has anybody died? Has anything happened? Crazy stuff. So, I went on Twitter, and this is what I saw trending, and I was so confused. I'm like, what are we mad about now? And then I got to reading it, and I'm like, oh my god. But some of the stuff everybody has been saying is fake, it's from a Reddit, it's not real. But the problem is when they say it's fake, they don't tell you what parts are fake. Because I know some of it is real. Like people are like, not all of it is fake, but they don't like tell you what's fake. So I am gonna leave y'all to figure that out by yourself. If y'all wanna look down into the tea, we can do that. But right now, I don't know what's happening. Sorry, I get to feel my throat just being weird. So, the first thing I want to get done is to tell you what I've seen. There's just one post that has 4 different screenshots, and that's what the main focus is right now. We're going to look at the screenshots, and then another guy is trying to debunk this stuff. So, we'll look at his screenshots and see if what lines up, what doesn't. And then I might dive in to see what has come of it as of, you know, a few hours ago when this actually broke. Like it broke about 4 or 5 hours ago, so the big names haven't said anything yet because they're trying to figure out if they should or not, or if they can or not. Like they're trying to figure out. So if this takes us a while, we may get some big names posting some tweets up in here. Um, one name that I'm wanting to see drop is Oscar, but I don't know if he. Last time I checked, he doesn't have a Twitter, so we can't actually like get his real time reaction to it. Like a lot of people with Twitter, especially when they're big names, like as soon as they see their name or something pertaining to them, they say it like right then because it gets their adrenaline kicked in that, oh my god, what is happening? So that's pretty much where we're at. So let's take a moment, breathe, and then absorb everything that we see. Okay, now let me get you to Twitter. That is very helpful. I'm just gonna be honest. Okay, that's gonna bother me, so you can, go on somewhere. No, seriously? Thank you, Bernie Sanders tweeted. I don't care. Okay, so, yeah. This was the first thing I read, and I was like, oh my god, my heart. Okay, so, here's the tea. Let me situate my headset, because it's falling. I am so dysfunctional. I am so sorry. Here is the tea. Okay, I kind of low-key kind of ship them two. I kind of do. Like, I kind of do. But at the same time, the more I got thinking about it, I was like, I don't really ship Kylo with her as much as I ship the idea that Ben was. Just him being a pure boy sentimental before he turned into a mass murderer. Yeah. Apparently, evil guys as kids are just so adorable. So, It's like I just got Loki kind of vibes from him, but it just I don't know. Loki didn't really got out to hurt anybody. When he did, it really wasn't him. So it's like I can't really compare them because it's just like it's like lopsided. I'm like, yeah. The more I got to thinking about it, the more I kind of like I love the redemption arc, but like it was so short lived and it didn't really do much. So I don't really think the I don't know. I think the kiss should have been different. I yeah. Anyways, let me read this and then I'll finish explaining. So the Kylo Ray scene was 4 minutes longer, but he was always supposed to die. Um. Okay. The kiss and the death were not a part of the reshoot. It was part of the re-editing. Even the cut that JJ thought was coming out earlier this month had a longer version of that scene than what was shown in the theatrical cut. So pretty much what that's saying is that that scene was a lot longer, but it was cut to be shorter and then it was longer. There's a video of somebody saying that in that scene you can I don't remember who it was. I really don't. I feel like I should know who that was, but I don't. But you could, or maybe it was a Twitter post. Yeah, it was a Twitter post. But you could see in that scene that it looked like they had been talking to each other because their mouths were moving, but nothing was being said because, well, there was no audio from it and they were angled. So this was supposed to be them talking to each other. So the scene that he saw was probably they cut that out and showed him everything else. But in the actual scene, they added that back in, or they forgot to cut it out. So, at least I think that's what's happening. Or maybe he thought the whole thing was going to be released and they only showed him a short portion of it, which I think it should just, like that whole talking thing. If you're not going to give us the audio of it, and you're not going to give us the real cut of it later, don't add that in. We can clearly tell they're not just staring into each other's soul, they're actually talking to each other. So it's like, or well, Ray's talking to him because he's not moving his mouth. But it's like, I can't lip read if I can't see her lips. So don't add that in if you didn't want us to be mad about it. So, yeah, T. Um, and JJ was against the kiss to begin with, or them together in general. I honestly half agree with that. Yeah, it was a Disney's attempt to please both sides. Okay, here's the thing. I kind of shipped it. I kind of still do. I'm just that person that's like whatever. Like I'm that shipper. I'm not that person that's like, yeah, you two are cute, fine, whatever. Like I don't really care. Like I'm not heart set on it. Like maybe I was when it happened, but I was like I thought about it since then. I'm like, nah. What I would have been okay with seeing, and a lot of people would have been okay with seeing, is not a kiss on the lips. If it would have just been like a kiss on the forehead, a kiss on the cheek, preferably the forehead, then I still would have been okay with it. Because a kiss on the lips is signifying that she has forgiven him, and she's okay with him, and she sees him as Ben, but she accepts what he did as Kylo. That's what that represents. A kiss on the cheek would have been, I'm mad at you still, but I still love you. But she's still slightly getting that Kylo Ren in it. But a kiss on the forehead would have signified, you're not alone. I'm with you. If you were to pass right now, I am going to be here, and I am sorry that this had to happen to you, and I thank you for saving me. That's what that signifies. It doesn't signify any true love. It doesn't signify kissing material. It signifies that they are together right now in this moment, and that she is, you know, she has to kind of forgive him in a way because he did just save her life. So for her to kiss him on the forehead would have been, I'm not, I'm not forgiving you for everything that you've done, but I do appreciate what you have just done for me. And that would have been sweet. That would have been cute. And for him to fade away after that, that would have been right. Because it didn't feel like they had had that connection to that they needed to kiss on the lips. Like there are two other places. The cheek would have been iffy on me. I can't really say that I would be okay with that. But a kiss on the forehead would have been enough. And I know a lot of people would have been satisfied with that because technically they still kissed, but not on the lips. And a lot of people will be like, yeah, that's the same as kissing, on the lips, just kissing on the forehead. But to me, it signifies something different because there's such a gap between the space between the forehead and the lips that it's just like it wasn't a mishit. It was where it was supposed to be, and it could have been done, and it would have been beautiful. Sorry, but I believe that the kiss on the lips was so forced, and nobody really wanted to do it. Like, you could just see it. Like, yes, there was passion, yes, because they are beautiful actors. Like, they are amazing at what they do. Like, they made it believable. But at the same time, it just felt so forced. Because nothing that Kylo had done up to that point deserved him of this. Yeah, he kind of shoved away Kylo when he was Ben. But Ben got thrown against the wall and should have died there. He should not have been able to get up, walk over to freaking Rey, and give his life to her. That's not what should have happened. That is not what should have happened. But it's what happened. And I don't believe that was worthy of him to get a kiss because, one, Rey didn't see any of that. She didn't see him get up and walk his way over there. She was dead. So it's like, you can't tell me she did it out of pity. Because there was no room for pity. And I don't know. I don't know. And I don't believe that there should have been like 4 minutes. Because here's the thing. Rey died pretty darn quick, right? And for Kylo to give the rest of himself to her, he should have faded away as soon as that happened. He should not have had 4 minutes more of dialogue. Because he would not have had the strength to do that. He got thrown against the wall and down into a freaking hole in the ground. I don't care how deep that was. He still climbed his way out. He would not have lived that long after. The dude was dying. Just getting there. So for you to tell me that he would have lived that long to complete some dialogue and some other stuff, I would love to disagree. I would love to disagree. But like, because Rey, not only did he get himself drained, he also got down into a hole. Rey didn't have to deal with that. Rey had some like other stuff, but she didn't have to deal with that. So yeah, she could have lived a little bit longer, and she could have been delivering all the dialogue, but or monologue at this point, because it would just be her talking. There's not much dialogue happening. So for you to tell me that that would have happened, I say baloney to that. So I'm kind of glad that it was cut just for the realistic standpoint of it, but the fact that it even happened to begin with is just like bros. Anyways, so that's my comment on this first part. So let's see what the second one is. Okay. Actually, let me see something else. Okay. Give me a hot second as I come over here. Okay. So, Hold on. Okay, that's what I thought. Ow. Sorry, I'm dying. Give me a second. Sorry. Choking on water. Smartest move. Okay, so. Ow, that hurt. That really hurt. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to like look at a few things before I continue. Okay, now let's read this one. So just notice that this isn't that great for y'all, so hopefully that's a better view. Um, sorry, I'm still dying. I'm trying to breathe, but I can't. Okay. So this is the Finpo thing. This is what gets on my nerves. If you don't want Kylo and Rey to get together, at least let Finn and Poe get together. Because that's what I would have been okay with. So, the source asked about Finn Poe after seeing Oscar Isaac's comment about how Disney didn't want it to be a thing. This is true. JJ fought to make this happen. This is why Oscar is blaming Disney. It's not just a random throwaway comment. He knows for a fact that it was Disney because these discussions happened. The main cast is insanely close with JJ. They are with most people, like, let me just say, and are just as mad, though seemingly more outspoken about it than JJ. During The Force Awakens, Disney was hesitant to hire John because a woman was front and center, so they deemed that risky enough. So bringing in a male lead who was black made them nervous. Excuse me? Let me continue. JJ fought to make that happen for about 9 months before getting approval. The same issue came up when JJ fought to have Finn Poe in The Rise of Skywalker, but he lost that battle, as he lost many creative battles for this film. Many people, JJ included, came to this realization during this production that the story really is told by shareholders, investors instead of the creatives or anyone at Disney specifically. He tried to make a lot of things happen and was shut down because of this. They had him on a leash and and many blamed The Last Jedi for the stricter creative approach. Let me explain. Okay, the first thing I have a problem with is the fact that they were hesitant to hire him because he was black. Excuse me? So you're telling me Disney is not only racist, but they're homophobic? That's what you're telling me. That's what you're telling me. Like, are you explaining this correctly to me? Bookmarks. And yeah, I yeah. Um, I literally have no only three things. Okay, and that's the person we're gonna look at in a second. I could have sworn I had. Maybe it was in my liked things. Uh, that was the We Have Been Robbed, folks. I was looking for. Okay, this one. So basically, to sum things up, the Ray Locust was fan service. Disney is racist and homophobic and doesn't give a single S about Star Wars or its actual fans. And there is a 3 hour cut out there that still exists, and we are just sitting here. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's the tweet. And that is exactly true. Like, you cannot tell me that this isn't insane. Like, Disney didn't want him? Like, I didn't know who he was before Disney, but dang, he's a good actor. All these people are great actors. And the fact that this has been pushed, like, the whole relationship between, Finn and Poe had been pushed months before the release of The Rise of Skywalker, I thought possibly it could be a thing that actually happened. But a lot of people have been pushing for this stuff. And I'm like, I don't even care that they didn't want Finn and Poe. I kind of get it. Because it's still a thing that the majority of the world doesn't support. And for them to want to make money off of this movie, they kind of can't. That's not giving them an excuse. I'm just saying I kind of get it. I'm so mad, but I kind of get it. But for them to say that they didn't want to cast him because he's African American just says how freaking messed up they are. Like, excuse me? Like, that makes me the maddest of all things. As soon as I saw that, I was like, I need to talk about this because this is freaking messed up. I'm so glad JJ fought for him because he deserved that role. Like, it, it's insane. But my thing is, why would you be hesitant when you did it in the ones years before this? But I get that he wasn't really a lead. He was just someone who showed up. That makes me upset. That makes me upset. Like, nothing else. That makes me upset. That just... My thing is, Disney needs to stop. Like, Disney needs to just stop. Because here's the thing. The biggest thing that everybody hates is when a director and the team creating the movie doesn't have the full ability to create it. When a corporation comes in and says, no, 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 that just takes away from the movie. You're just making a bad movie. All these bad movies. Let me throw in Cats. I didn't see Cats. I don't know anything about the film Cats. I know about the musical Cats. It was after I watched the trailer of Cats. But I watched the original stuff of Cats, and I was like, this is gold. What is that? I understand that the CGI was probably the biggest problem. The songs in Cats are confusing but beautiful. But it's not the songs that you look at, it's the stuff happening around it. If you watch, I don't remember what movie it was, a version of it, but I think it was like 1970 something. That version. If you watch the stuff, or you just look up Memories or the Jellicle Cat song, or Mungo Jerry and Rumple Teaser, that's my favorite song of the musical. But if you look at the background, what are the other cats doing while these people are performing? Or the cats are performing. But what are the other people doing? What are they doing? Some of them are licking their paws. Some of them are flirting with other cats. You can clearly see it in the background. That's one of the things I love about movies in musicals and stuff like that, is that it's not what the main focus is, it's what's happening in the background. It's one of the things these Star Wars films have lacked, the background. Their main focus is always on the main characters. They're not focusing enough time on the beauty of this scenery. They're not looking at the mountains and the sea. They're not looking at every little detail. The Last Jedi had the best scenery because on the island, I don't remember what it was called, but I don't care. The island, like the ports, every little detail, like it was just beautiful. It was beautiful. And I don't care about the story. You know, I'm one of those people, like, y'all know me. I'm a story gamer. But the thing is, I watch a movie for the story the first time, and then I watch it again for the scenery the second. I always watch a movie twice if it was good the first time. Like, if I can give you a pass on the story, if I can say, yeah, that was a decent story. If it was terrible, I can't watch it again. But if I could watch it the first time, all the way through, then I'll watch it again. And I'll look at the scenery. I'll be like, was there any problems that I had with it? Was it all beautiful? Did it all have what I was looking for? And The Last Jedi had that. It had the beauty that I needed. Every little detail was beautiful. Yeah, there were a few moments where I would have liked to see like an actual, like, full on pan with every time that uh Rey and Kylo actually did the Force thing they were doing, to actually like have them two, you know, kind of like panned but in the different respected areas. You know what I mean? Like, it was so jumpy with that, and I was like, ugh. But I enjoyed it. It was beautiful. The one thing I have, the biggest problem I have with The Rise of Skywalker is I can't remember a single moment where I was like, yeah, that's beautiful. I can't remember a single moment. Now, I only watched it once because I don't know. I was so mad at it. I was so mad that the kiss happened, but I was so mad that Ben died, and I was so mad that Finn Poe didn't happen. I was so mad about a lot of stuff. So I'm like, I don't know if I could watch it again. But it was just so, it was so painful in the fact that it just, I don't know. It didn't give me what I wanted. It didn't. Like, I'm sure it tried, but it didn't. And I don't blame anybody but Disney and the people behind Disney and the people who said no to a lot of this stuff. It's, I don't know. I'm so let down because not only did they do Finn Poe wrong, they did John wrong. And I'm so glad he spoke about like a lot of this stuff. And I'm sad that a lot of fans aren't true fans and they can't see that John isn't Finn. He's an actor and Finn is a fictional character. Like, I hate the people who merge the two as one. Like, I am down to ship some fictional characters. I'm not down to ship actors. It's the same with YouTubers. Unless they blatantly said that they are together, you technically shouldn't ship them. Or actually, you shouldn't ship them. There is no technically, you just shouldn't. Like, it's okay with shipping Matt, Pat, and Steph because they're married. It's okay with shipping Aaron and Susie because they're married. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're like, oh, they're so cute. It's like, yeah, they're married. It's like, they wouldn't be married to each other if they didn't love each other. Actually, that's not true. But, you know, whatever, not the point. The point is that's, if they're married, you can ship them. But if they're fictional characters, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You can ship Kylo and Rey. I don't care. I don't. They're fictional characters. It's not going to do anything to harm me. I don't care. If you want to ship Poe and Finn, if you don't want to ship them, that's fine with me. I don't care. If you want to ship Finn and Rose, if you want to ship Poe with the new chick that he dated from a point, I guess, below his space running, I'm confused. I'm confused with a lot about Poe. I feel like I learned a lot about Poe in the last few days than I ever thought I would, and I'm just like trying to absorb it all, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But that just makes me mad. Like, this is what I tweeted out, and I was like, I'm sorry, guys, if you haven't seen the movie and you didn't know Finn Poe wasn't a thing. But I think Oscar made it kind of clear if you, like, saw anything about his comment. I was like, I'm so sorry, guys, but this was important. But I'm hoping that this was fake, that they didn't actually do my man dirty, that they actually, like, hired him, like, without hesitation, that, like, I hope that this is all baloney. I hope that this didn't happen because this is devastating to hear. And my thing is, I want to boycott Disney. I want to protest Disney. I want to go up to the Disney studio or headquarters and be like, screw all of y'all. But I can't because here's the thing: Disney busts out Marvel, Star Wars. You know, I almost said DC. I'm like, no, like their own stuff. It's like you really can't. They're so powerful that even the whole world going against them, they would still win. They would still win. And I wish I was joking. I really wish I was. But even if every person in the world went against them, they would still win because they're that powerful. They would be like, okay, well, we're going to stop Star Wars, we're going to stop Marvel, we're going to stop everything. If you want us to stop, we'll stop. And then we'll never be entertained again because they're the only people that make any good movies anymore. Because, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know. Because I know that they are all powerful. They cannot be stopped. And I wish I could say we can boycott them, we can protest, we can go against them. But that's just not possible. Because Disney Plus is a thing, and half of us are already members. The majority of us are already members. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, and this. They were supposed to be included. Anyone who wasn't animated. The Force Ghosts weren't meant to be voices, but they shot that footage on camera. The actors were in costume. Rey was supposed to be surrounded by the Force Ghosts to serve as sort of a barrier between them and the Sith surrounding them. That would have been freaking awesome. That would have been awesome. That would have been awesome. But you know what they didn't do? That. That would have been amazing. Because that would have been, I don't know, I felt like that would have been something they should have kept in. Like, it's the same thing with, um, but at the same time, I think it might have been too much. It's, this is gonna have a, it's been a while since Endgame happened, right? Can I talk about that? If you haven't seen Endgame at this point, um, fast forward about a minute, no, about 2 minutes just to be safe. So about 35. Okay. Spoilers for Endgame now. If they would have had, because in Endgame they all nailed down in that deleted scene to honor Tony. They all kneeled down, and you know Gamora was walking off. I'm okay with the fact that they cut out Gamora, or like if they would have just like cut out Gamora and like left that as a mystery. Like I wanted to see her alive, but the fact that she walked off kind of ruined the scene for me. But the fact that they cut the scene to begin with was annoying because I thought it was a good scene, but at the same time it kind of dragged on the, I don't know, I felt like it was better as a deleted scene than an actual scene in the movie. Like it was still awesome, but I felt like it was, you know, it dragged. And this is kind of the same thing. If it was just a deleted scene that came out like they did with Marvel after the movie, it would have been better. Um yeah, I think it would have been better. Because that scene was really good, but it just didn't fit with the context of what you know, the scene was really trying to persuade. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to exactly word it to how it needs to be worded, but you know, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm just gonna keep saying yeah because I can't think, so I'm like yeah. Okay, well, welcome back to all the people who didn't watch Endgame. Y'all suck. No, I love you. But I just felt like this scene would have been a drag. Like I don't know how it would have looked, so I can't really, you know, exactly hate it for how it would have been. I think we need to see the deleted scene first and then determine if it should have been in the movie or not. Because a lot of these people are like, yeah, it should have been in. But I'm like, it. I don't know. I'm iffy on it because I can't imagine it. I honestly can't. So if they are if they are going to or were to release it, I hope that they release it um like sometime in the next week or two, maybe three, after they deem it safe from spoilers. But this whole tag and everything else is like spoilers, so it's like Jesus Christ, guys, we're really not pulling an in game here with the spoiler because they were like no spoilers for like 2 weeks. Everybody to shut up and not say anything for 2 weeks. But I don't know how long it's been. It's been like a hot minute. Hold on, how long has it been? Um, it's almost been 2 weeks. We don't care. We're just like whatever. But it's yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I believe like if they are gonna do something, um then hold on. Let me get the thing up again. I say tomorrow. Tomorrow they release it because they still have footage. Like they have to. None of this could be deleted, or should have been deleted. If they deleted any of it, then we're all going to be upset. Because here we are getting this information, and then for it to be deleted would be just devastating. So, what needs to happen is that they release the footage tomorrow of what this would have looked like, and then we decide if it should have been in the movie or not. And then maybe they'll pull an end game and re-release the movie with certain scenes in, which is stupid, but whatever, make more money, I don't care. But what they should have done is, I think it was Drew Gooden who made the video, but there was a movie that was made, um, and one of the versions of the movie had straight couple as parents, and the other version had gay couple as parents. And I'm like, that is the stupidest thing in the world. But you know what? That could actually work for Star Wars. Because here's the thing. I understand if you're not here for Finn and Poe, but at the same time, you could just give the other version to the people who didn't want to see it. Just make two different versions. Have them in there, have them not. But then it would change the whole story, so it doesn't really matter. Well, not really. Not really. It really wouldn't have. It really wouldn't have. Like, it really wouldn't have. It would have just changed some dialogue here and there, but it really wouldn't have changed the movie. They could have just subtly had it in. Which they subtly did. Like, if you look, my main focus, my background was Oscar, or Poe. If you look at him, anytime that Finn runs off after Rey or does something to Rey or anything, you can tell how upset Poe is. He is so jealous. It is so adorable. Like, I want you to watch The Rise of Skywalker again when it comes onto Disney Plus. We ain't gonna give them money, but um, I want you to watch it again, and I want you to watch Poe's face the whole time. He is so upset. Like, anytime anybody is messing with Finn or anything, like, when they were in the tunnel, he was upset. He was like, fine, whatever. Don't talk to me. But, like, when Finn was running after Rey, who was in the desert planet thing, and Poe was by the ship, and he was looking at Finn, he was like, oh my god, are you serious? Or when Poe lifts helps when Finn helps Poe get up the rocks, and she's looking off in the distance, and he's about trying to reach down to grab Finn's hand, but he's like walking off to Rey. He is so upset. Like, seriously, bro? Like, I thought we were riding or die. You're over here with her. Yeah, that's just like etched into my brain. Poe is so precious, I swear to God. But, um, I don't know. I'm iffy on this. I'm iffy on this. I don't know. If they release the scene tomorrow, I'll be happy with it. But, you know, if it was cool, then I'm gonna be upset. But if it's like, if it gives me the same vibes as, you know, anything else, then I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, the cut still exists and will always exist. Unless, someone accidentally deletes it. Yeah. Surprised by the negative response. They're right, yeah. Oh, yeah, and this. Finn wanted to tell Rey something. It was always meant to be for sensitivity. In the 3-hour cut, it explicitly stated there was a moment when Janaha, I'm not gonna, that name, and he were running on top of that Star Destroyer. Oh, the chick. Right? Is that the chick? Yeah, that was the chick. On top of the Star Destroyer. And Finn needed to unlock or move something. And he force moved it and acted surprised when it happened. This was replaced by the CGI'd BB-8 fixing whatever he needed to fix on there. Yeah. Yeah. Which, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Yeah. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. Anyways, just ignore everything with that. That was. Here's the T sisters and brothers and non-binary people. Okay, y'all. There. Better? Happy? Oh, he doesn't assume anything. It's just y'all. Here's the thing. You can't just say. Here's the thing. When Finn first, you know, in the desert was like, or in the sand while they were. Hold up. Quicksand. There we go. I can remember what it's called. When they were in that, and he was like, I have to tell you something. Or before we go, whatever. Like, however he worded it. But I knew, like, as soon as he said that, I was like, oh my god, don't tell me you're gonna tell her you love her. But, I don't know. I felt like they were trying to push for that, maybe? Like, I don't know what that was. Like, I don't know if John was told that that's what Finn was gonna tell her, and that then he acted as if that's what it was. But I don't know, the way he acted, or Finn was acting, or John was acting around Daisy, was weird. It was giving me vibes that what he was gonna tell her was that he loved her. You know, it was iffy. Like, I don't know if that was just a poor acting choice or he just didn't know until afterwards that that's what it was that he wanted to tell her. But I don't know. My thing with my thing with Finn being force sensitive is that I don't know. I don't understand what force sensitivity means, because my thought is like, I don't understand that. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out. Hold on. Let me try to clear my thoughts. What I'm trying to say is that I don't understand that. Like, how he is force sensitive. Like, let me look up what force sensitive means. Like, because here's the thing. Force sensitive, also known as a force user, refers to any living organism that keenly attuned to the flow of the mysterious energy field known as the force. Here's the thing. Rey has the force because she's a Palpatine. That was clear in this movie. Even though it's baloney, it sucks, and there's a terrible thing, it's still a thing. That's canon, apparently. Sorry, my sinuses are trying to run right now, and I'm like, not the time, honey. But that's her connection to the Force. Apparently, Poe is also Force sensitive. I'm like, I don't know how to. Yeah, apparently he is, according to. Like, I don't know. He is, he isn't, I don't know. Like, everybody's like, he is, but no, he's not. Something to do with the Force tree in his backyard. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. You just gotta look that up for yourself. Like, make your own connection. I don't know. He is, he isn't, who knows. But my thing is, I can get race. I can get Poe's kind of somewhat, not really kind of somewhat. I don't know. But what's Finn's connection? We don't even know who his parents are. Like, his parents were as mysterious as Rey's. We didn't know who they were for, like, the whole time. And we still don't know who they are. So what's his connection to the Force? Because it's always been about bloodline. Like, yeah, Anakin kind of, like, I didn't watch the first movie. Like, I didn't, like, my parents decided to skip over that when they were showing me Star Wars. But, because they were like, it has no connection to the future episodes. And I'm like, I don't know who half these guys are, but okay. So I don't know what Anakin's connection to the Force was. But I know that Luke and Leia have the connection through Anakin. And Ben has it through the rest of them. And it's like, I can understand that. But how the heck is Finn connected to the Force? How? How? Like, did Leia, you know, was, you know, and, you know, but like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't know. Like, I just assume that there needs to be a connection. But for Finn to have been Force sensitive this whole time, from the beginning of the freaking movie to the end of the freaking movie, with no explanation. Like, when did he start becoming Force sensitive? Was it literally in, the Rise, no, not the Rise of Skywalker, not the Last Jedi, the Force Awakens, when he was holding the lightsaber? Because he, like, I was like, that man is holding the lightsaber and doing pretty darn well with it. I was like, is he gonna be a Jedi too? Like, he's the only other person that touches a lightsaber. Like, well, maybe not the only other person, but him, Rey, and Ben. I'm calling him Ben now. Like, Kylo. I'm switching. I don't know what to call him anymore. But those three are, like, the only three people that really touch it. Well, besides Luke. But he kind of touches it just to eat it. And Leia. But that's not the point. The point is, the only person that technically uses it. I'm pretty sure. Like, I'm 92% sure. Like, I don't know, but I'm, like, pretty sure. So it's like, he was always supposed to have something to do with the Force. But it was never explained. And they kind of just forgot about it in, The Last Jedi. Like, they were too focused on Rey that they just completely forgot about anything that happened with Finn. And my thing is, Finn got hurt by a lightsaber. And he survived that. And the thing that makes me so mad about The Last Jedi is the fact that when he wakes up, the first thing he said is, "Where's Rey?" Like, I get it that that's the last thing you remember. But at the same time, like, you can't just say hi to Poe. Like, come on, rude. But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and it's just like trying to remember what happened in what movie. I'm just like, I don't know anymore. A lot of stuff happened in the Force Awakens now. Like, I haven't seen that in a hot minute, but like there was a lot of stuff that happened. Like, I'm just like sitting here like the Last Jedi didn't really have anything. The Rise of Skywalker didn't really have anything. The Force Awakens had like 50,000 things happening. Like, Jesus, man. But it's like it's really disappointing, you know, getting to the Rise of Skywalker, because we were all disappointed in, the well, disappointed in two different ways. They were disappointed about whatever they were disappointed about. I was disappointed about what I was disappointed about. And like the thing is, The Force Awakens had so much stuff happening. Like, I can't remember everything that happened, because it's just like every day I remember something different. I'm like, oh my god, that happened. But when you get to the Last Jedi, you're like, huh, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and it kind of just doesn't feel right. Like, it's right in the sense of the story, but it's just like nothing is happening. They're kind of just sitting there waiting around for nothing. And my thing is I really didn't like Rose. I really didn't. But I wasn't one of those people that went after the actress. Like, that's screwed up, mate. Like, I didn't like Rose for the fact that she kind of just popped out of nowhere and was now a main character. But I absolutely hated how in The Rise of Skywalker, she was barely there. Like, she was there to stand. And I'm not reading those news articles telling me why. I don't care why. I don't care if it was her own choice. That doesn't matter. What matters is you're blocking out Rose. You made her a main character, now stick with it. Like, that's just screwed up. And it's just, I don't know. I just feel like The Last Jedi was kind of like a disappointment, but we kind of all just like, the next one will be better. The next one better be better. And it was just so trashy. It was like, wow, this is exactly what happened. The movie before, but with more people. You know? Like, it was like, we're adding a lot more people, but we're gonna do the same exact thing. Like, okay. With minor plot twists, question mark? Like, we all knew that Kylo was gonna turn. Like, that wasn't a plot twist. We all knew they were probably gonna kiss. That wasn't a plot twist. Like, there wasn't anything shocking or revealing. Or like, none of that happened. No, none of that happened. So it was just like a major disappointment. It was like, seriously, again, this is what we're dealing with. So to get back to this, I don't know. I don't believe that. I know that Finn was always force sensitive. Like, that was kind of obvious, but the thing is like, it doesn't explain to you how he is. Like, everybody has a connection. Like, the movie makes everybody who has the force sensitivity to have a connection. Like, Rey had her connection, or Poe had his connection, question mark. But Finn is never explained. That's the only problem I have with it. Is we don't know how he is connected to the force. I'm okay if he has it. I'm down if he has it. That is dope if he has it. It's dope if all three of them have it. Weird, but dope. Like, it doesn't, like, that just, I don't know. I'm just confused on how he has it. And that's my only downside with him having it, is that it's not explained how. I'm mad that they changed it and he doesn't have it. Or that they pretend like he doesn't, even though they made it a big deal at the beginning. And I'm glad that John came out and said, yeah, this is what happened. Like, he very clearly states it. Like, he said that was what was always supposed to be said. I love how both him and Oscar are like coming out against Star Wars and saying the truth. Like, they're like, yeah, this is the stuff that was supposed to happen. And, that's it. The end. Merry Christmas. This is what it was. And it's like, thank you. Thank you for speaking the truth. Because it's so easy to get caught up in, the fiction of it. And for them to come out and say, like, you know, have at it, it's good. It's good for them to like be able to do that. And I wish more Disney stars and stars in general like come out against Disney and the corporation, not against, the people, the directors, the writers, like any of those. Those really don't have much creative opportunity besides, like they have the creative opportunity, but it's mainly the corporation that is, you know, throwing away the suggestions of the writers and stuff. Like that's it's their fault. Like nobody else really has much to you know, do with it. Um yeah, that was a cute thing I saw. Oh, you can't. No. Yeah, you can. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's like that's what I felt like. It was like you literally are throwing out Anakin, which Anakin is a big part of this series too. It's like they're both, I say series, but it's like, you know, whatever. But I swear, yeah. Imagine pouring your heart into something and time into something and crafting it into what you know will be the best version of the film and then have Disney rip that away from you. Yeah. Yeah. This is not what they worked on. Yeah. You're breaking my heart. Yeah. It's like, like, he very clearly was able to do that on two different occasions. Yeah, and he's able to keep up in a fight without training. And he senses that Rey is dying. Like, why? Why would you hide that if you've already made it obvious? Like, now you're just being a jerk. Yeah, you were the chosen one. I love that picture. Like, look at him. He's just so proud. It's just like, oh, you're so cute. Um, yeah. It's like, look, they're so pure. Okay. And then that was that, and then yeah, and then that was that. What was different? Because there was only 4 pictures. Yeah, I don't like that BB-8. Like BB-8 is so OP. Like the droids usually are, and I'm like, y'all made them too too much. Yeah, yeah. Supporting the cause. I don't know if he said anything, which he's usually on top of saying stuff, but like, and he can get away with saying stuff because I mean the dude's the dude. Okay, so yeah, and then that. Where is the post? I was this. No, I was probably done past it. No, I didn't. What ain't? What ain't you ding? I don't watched it. Um, shoot. Did I tweet it out? I know. Actually, I think I put it on my bookmarks. Uh, thank you, Preston. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Yeah, that and that on bookmarks, and then that. Okay, this. This is what I was trying to look for. Thank you for getting to see my whole Twitter. I'm sure y'all enjoyed that. Okay, for people who are lost, Disney basically changed the whole movie to sabotage J.J. Abrams and Warner Brothers. They want DC to stay in limbo. A few pictures to explain. This is what this guy's been saying, but like, okay. So I'm gonna read some of the comments before we get started because I want to know what these people are, thinking. Like, do they believe that this guy is telling the truth, or do we just need to move on and pretend like this never happened? I absolutely like to send the movie, and some of my distastes were actually explained in this thread. That is, if this is true, JJ might just be saving face because he knows the movie sucked. These last leaks were all true in the end, so, but everybody can come to their own conclusion. Disappointed me so much that I'm just done with everything having to do with it. I'd rather just move on and forget it exists and get and then get hope. Oh, forget it exists rather than getting hopes up for an extended cut. Okay. Um. Okay. So some person is saying fake. So let's see. You don't know with certainty. None of us do. Okay. So it's weird because it's just like nobody knows what to believe anymore, and it's like, yeah. And before we go, we'll look through here and see if there's anything of importance. So let's look at what this guy's saying. So, okay. So, since shortly after release weekend, sorry, I need water, which I'm completely drank all of my water, just so you know. Okay, since shortly after release weekend, I've been corresponding with someone who's worked closely on the production of The Rise of Skywalker and worked for one of the major companies I cannot disclose here. Hold on. I have verified the source to my satisfaction. To protect the source, I am rewording what we spoke about over the last 2 weeks, and I am submitting it to you in this bullet point format. I have written based on what they told me. The last what? TLDR. Okay, hold on. TLDR? What is that? Okay, well, I'm assuming it's not that, but whatever. Whatever. Okay, they were upset with the final product of The Rise of Skywalker and didn't want to share their perspective. They were upset with the final production of The Rise of Skywalker and wanted to share their perspective on how it went down and where it went wrong. The leaker of The Rise of Skywalker had an agenda and are tied to Disney directly. My source confessed that they had an agenda as well and that they struggled with ignoring what what's been happening to someone who they think doesn't deserve it. I am struggling to read right now, so like this is the paragraph I just read. JJ always treated everyone on and offset with respect. So my source's agenda is that what money I don't know. So clearly JJ isn't the leaker of this because they're I don't know, maybe not. Who knows? JJ always treated everybody on and offset with respect. So my source's agenda is that what Disney has done to JJ and how much they screwed him over should be something people are at least aware of, whether you like him as a filmmaker or not. Disney was one of the studios who were in that bad robot bidding war last year. Disney never had much interest in BR as a company, but they did in JJ because they saw Warner Brother, who JJ went with in the end as a major threat. So they wanted JJ, and they were mad that Warner Brother wanted JJ as well? Question mark. JJ is very successful at bringing franchises back like Mission Impossible, Star Trek, and Star Wars. Warner Brother is struggling with DC, and aside from Wonder Woman, DC is still seen as a bit of a joke in its current state by the GA. Yeah, yeah. They need some serious help. And they're not only stealing JJ as it seems, they've stolen um James Gunn because that whole controversy happened. And my thing with James Gunn is that yeah, the man changed and stuff, and I'm down for him and I love him. I don't know. It just seems like Disney took a different route with JJ than they did with James Gunn. Like I don't know. Like they got rid of him on purpose, and I guess they weren't trying to get rid of JJ, but they kind of did on purpose. Like I don't understand. Like I'm confused. Like they treated them both differently. Maybe the situations were just different. I don't know. But um, T. I don't know. I don't know. So you can compare it, contrast it, and tell me about it later. Like I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but that just seems like odd to me. Um, Warner Brother wanted Abrams for some DC projects. My source said that the generation Star Wars is the MC. That this generation Star Wars is the MCU. The Marvel's biggest threat is its well-operated DC. They want to keep DC in the limbo. Okay, so they want JJ to come and fix DC. That way they can compete against Marvel, but Disney doesn't want him to leave because if he does and makes DC good, then Marvel will have competition and then Disney will practically be screwed. Okay, that makes sense. But at the same time, like, stay in your lane, boo. Stay in your lane. Um, Abrams jump-started that franchise with something like a successful audience-pleasing Superman movie makes them nervous. No Superman movie is gonna make me happy, but okay, whatever. Who cares? Um, their goal is to make JJ look bad to potential investors and shareholders. Nobody is making JJ look bad. You are making JJ look bad. I mean, JJ's practically trending right now, so you can't really make the man look bad. But he's trending in a good way. We love him. We support him. We appreciate him. Like everybody who hates on him, like seriously, come on. The reason why I'm not sharing this on Twitter, of course, is because spoilers and stuff. Like I don't want people who haven't had a chance to see the movie yet to get spoiled by this. And that's my only problem with this thread is just like it's really spoiler heavy. And I'm glad I watched the movie before I saw this. Of course, I wouldn't be making this video if I hadn't seen the movie, which I just saw the movie like a week ago actually. A week ago, yeah. It's last Thursday, right after Christmas. Because I went with my uncle and my dad. That was a fun time. It was fun. Like I would look over at my uncle and he'd just be like, and like certain parts are like odd. Okay, anyways, that was a fun time. I can't believe that was a week ago. Okay, sorry, just thinking. Um, um, my source mentions that shortly after the premiere, The Rise of Skywalker, we saw last night was not the right. Source mentioned that shortly after the premiere, The Rise of Skywalker we saw last night was not the Rise of Skywalker we thought we worked on. JJ was devastated and blindsided by this. He had fallen down over the last 6 months because of some of the ridiculous demands Disney had that changed his movie story. While the scenes were shot, a lot of the okay, Disney had that changed demands that Disney had that changed the movie story. While the scenes were shot, a lot of the changes were made in post production, and the audio was re recorded and altered. My source said that they never seen anything like this happen before. But the director and he's the director and he wasn't in the know about what they were doing behind his back. Apparently JJ felt threatened over the months leading up to the premiere. Ryan was I think Ryan, somebody, I can't pronounce it. I don't know how to pronounce it. I don't care. Was never mentioned to do 9. I don't know Roman numerals. Whenever it shows up, I'm like, whatever. I don't know. Despite some rumors that he was, I don't know half this stuff. JG was brought back by Iger, not KK. Disney was insisted on Disney insisted on more fan service, less controversy. Here's the tea. I'm gonna be honest. When I got done with The Rise of Skywalker, I was like, yeah, that was a. I was so mad about the ending. I was so mad about a lot of stuff. I was like, it was a good movie. I was like, I liked it. Over the time, I realized I hated that movie. The movie sucked so much, but Like, it takes me a minute to get it sunken in, to, like, fully absorb it. And I have to rewatch it to tell if I actually enjoyed it or not. But I really probably didn't. Because it's still just, like, it kind of just erased itself from my brain. Like, I only kept the scenes that I loved. Like the spice running thing. You were a spice runner? um, but yeah, but the thing was, is when, you know, after every movie, um, you know, me and my dad talk about it, and we sit down, we absorb it for a minute, and then we talk about it, like in the 30-minute ride home. We usually do that, but this ride home was only like 10 minutes, and my uncle was there. So the first thing my dad said was that it felt too much like it was repeating some stuff. And there's the fan service. That's the fan service. And my dad was, he actually watched, the majority of these movies when they came out in the theater. I think one of them was like a couple of years after he was born, so like, I don't know about that one. But he watched this stuff. Like, he was there. And for him to say that he didn't like this movie because it had too much repeat is exactly what they were trying not to do. They wanted fan service. You know what they did? They just copied it. And I looked at some of this, like, replayed some of the scenes in my mind. He was watching some other videos about it, and, all these, all these Star Wars movies, and I'm like, I'm starting to see the patterns. I'm starting to see it. That, that they really just copied a lot of stuff and just tried to change it up a bit, and, they ripped off themselves. They they were trying to claim it as fan service, but it really just, it felt cheap. It felt like, we enjoyed it before. You're trying to do it again just for us to enjoy it again. But it's like, we've already seen it. We're not going to enjoy it. We want something new, something surprising. It's like everything that was in that movie was predictable. We practically wrote the movie in our head. Half of us did write the movie in our head. Half of us wrote it on paper. Half of it's on the internet already. And a lot of people, then, it's crazy because a lot of people, I think it might have been Matt Pat, his theory, 100% true. Or like 98% true, a little off on some points. But it's like, everybody has already figured out the story. Everybody knows the plot twist. Like, oh snap. Like, nobody cares. And a lot of the fan service wasn't really fan service. You just needed a movie. And it's like, let JJ do JJ. Let JJ bring us what we want. And if he doesn't bring us what we want, then screw it. Like, we'll be mad at JJ. But JJ straight up telling us that Disney was one behind him. And, I don't disagree. And half the cast doesn't disagree. Hence Oscar's and John's comments. They don't disagree. And they're saying this before this has been released. I don't know if this particular post being released, it was said before, but I know that this trend, it was said before the trend. So, therefore, I'm holding this more at value that it was Disney's fault than at JJ's. So, that's what I'm holding, because that's what I believe. If you want to believe different, you can. I'm just saying. Yeah. JJ original agreement when he signed on was indicating he would have many more creative control than he did on The Force Awakens. He would have more creative control. It became evident that this wasn't the case. Only a couple of something, couple of months later, a couple of days later, I don't know, couple of something later. But the man got less creative control. Like, seriously. JJ wanted to do some scenes JJ wanted to do some scenes he thought were important, but Disney shut them down, criticizing budgetary reasons. May 2019, JJ argued that those scenes were crucial. He had to let go of one of the scenes, the other scenes he insisted on was approved at first. He did reshoot and additionally photographed in July. The new scene was shot at VR in October. The ending will blow your mind, and then that was the part right there. Um, my source says that he can't 100% confirm that this is because of China. It's an official office. Okay, hold on. My source thinks Jesus Christ, I can't talk. My source thinks, but can't 100% confirm that this is because of China. It's an office talk of sorts. But VFX people claim they got a list of approved shades of blue that could that could use that could be used on the Luke Force Ghost. Cut this out was with the bad blood turned into a nightmare for JJ because the movie he was making was suddenly unrecognizable to him in almost every way. That's supposed to be every way right there. You can read kind of the W every way, and this it's like yeah, and you can kind of read it through the W right there or the Y right there. That makes no sense, but okay. Like I don't half of this I don't understand, but if y'all do, then oh my god, right? Um, but the fact that you work so hard on a movie and then it's exactly not what you believed it was. Okay, there's more stuff. So that was the first part. There's a lot to read. Like my throat hurts so much. Okay. JJ because some of this is cut and I'm like what? It's weirdly worded. JJ because okay, hold on. Every way JJ because the movie he was going to make was oh yeah, in almost every way. Okay, there we go. My sources know JJ well enough to know that he's just not the yelling type, but apparently in a meeting he yelled something along the lines of why don't you just put directors and writers by directed and written directed and written by Lucasfilms then. My source wasn't present for that exchange but knows some who were. Disney demanded to shoot some scenes that would have things in it for merchandise. They Fly Now is one of them. It's also JJ's least favorite scene. As of November's screening of a 2-minute, 37-second cut, he cringed, groaned, and laughed when the scene was on. A lot of scenes were in there for merchandise reasons, and I'm like, homie, you don't need to sell merchandise. Like, I mean, sell pork sell. I'm still, I can't talk. Still, sell porgs. I would buy one. I haven't yet because Jesus Christ, they're expensive and I can't find any. But it's like, you don't need this. You don't need to sit here and do merchandise because here's the thing. People are paying to see your movie. People are still paying to do things. Like, mine's blown. I'm so done with people who just do things for the merch. I'm like, I hate you so much. My sources say that JJ was most likely not joking when he said "you're right" in the interview where they asked him about the rise of Skywalker. Okay, so it was after that interview that this person talked to the source. JJ originally early November cut. JJ's original early November cut was 3 hours and 2 minutes long. Why couldn't they make a 3 hour and 2 minute long video or movie? I sat completely through Endgame without needing to go to the bathroom once. This would have been a little bit different because, I was at a fancier place where they were serving me more food. So I was like, I don't know about this. But if I was, where I was at, I knew it was 3 hours, I would have waited. Just like, come on, man, seriously. JJ's original early November cut, was 3 hours and 2 minutes long. In January, JJ suggested that they turn this into 2 films. I would have been down for that. Why would you say no? You'd be making more money. Does Disney not know how to work? My sources tell me that this was well before Torino mentioned it in an interview a couple of days ago when Disney said no, no, JJ was content with making this 3 hours long. Here's the thing. Disney's an idiot if they actually said no. Because here's the thing. Okay, let me look this up. Was it Mockingjay? Part 1. Okay, hold on. I can't function on a computer apparently. And then Mockingjay Part 2. Okay. It wasn't the most well received movie, but the box office, yeah, the budget was okay. So you're telling me that this, hold on, you're telling me, I'm gonna bust out a calculator because I can't do mental math. I can't do mental math, and I can't sing word of trash can. I can't do mental math. Okay. So they've made 1,408,800,000. Does that make sense? 1,480,800,000. 800,000. So that would be, yeah. Can I just see the number on that? Yeah, words to number converter, please. Thank you. Oh, Jesus Christ. Convert into numbers. I'm gonna die in about a minute. What the frick? Okay, maybe not. Okay, anyways, that's what it was. That's what it was. And then close that out. That's what it was. Why is my screen red? Apparently, it's a red screen of death. 1,488,800,000. You are insane. That is insane. That is insane. Because here's the thing. How much? Okay, so J part 1. I think part 2 said 160. Cost. Okay. So this one was 125. The other one was 160. So 160 plus 125 would be 285. 285? 285? Is that right? 285. Not really. $285 million. But they made 1 billion. Do you understand that there's a slight difference? You make more money when you split it into two different films, especially when the first part of the film really wouldn't have cost that much money. Really wouldn't have. It's the ending that's the dramatic part. And it really didn't do itself justice, the dramaticness. So Disney's an idiot. Disney's an idiot. Can we all just round of applause? We've cracked the code. Disney is an idiot. They make more money if they separate it into two films. For them to say no to that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, I understand it's 333. Like, we get that. But here's the thing. I don't think I would have been upset if they split it into two different films. Because I know they worked harder on it. Because I don't know what the year span was between each of the previous 6 films were. But I know for a fact that they rushed through these films. Getting them done in 2 years is insane. And probably less than that. But it's insane. Like, I understand that they were doing it to keep the original actors in there for, as long as they could. And I get that and I appreciate that and I love that. But here's the thing. With the technology that we have nowadays, they're practically it doesn't matter if they're alive or not. And I really don't think that you did them justice anyways. I mean, I really don't. I mean, I think it would have been better if you didn't have them. Yeah, Carrie Fisher was kind of needed because she was a general, but Luke was kind of needed. I understand why they killed Han in the first movie because like he was kind of pointless. No offense, Han. But I don't know. I would have loved for them to split it into two different films. I understand if you didn't, you wanted it to be 3, 3, 3, 3. I get it. I love that. It's creative. It's cool. It's different. But for you to say no to that is insane because you make more money. Like, it doesn't matter what the fans would have wanted. It matters about the money, according to them. So for them to not want to split it into two different films is insane. It's like, you make more money. Like, how stupid are you? Because I guess they thought that the movie was so trash. Like, The Rise of Skywalker was so trash to the point that nobody in their right mind would ever come back and watch the second part. And they thought they were going to lose money in that way. But if you would have let JJ do what JJ wanted to do and do it his way and still put it into two different films, I think I would have watched it. With this trash can, no, I wouldn't. I would have watched it burn. But if Disney would have gotten off of his back and like stopped, then 100%, the second movie would have done just as well as the first, if not better. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Um, of a period of 9 months, JJ started realized that one by one his ideas and whole scenes were being thrown out the window or entirely altered by people who had no business meddling with the creatives. They were not on the same page when it came to creative decisions, and it became obvious that Disney had an agenda in addition to wanting to please shareholders. Disney could afford messing up 9 for the sake of the bigger picture. When it came to protecting things unrelated to 9, they cut JJ eventually and hesitantly agreed to in early December. It was 2 minutes and 37 minutes long. It wasn't the cut we saw when he wouldn't have approved of. What? The cut that JJ eventually and hesitantly agreed to in early December was 2 minutes and 37 minutes long. 2 minutes and 37 seconds long. It wasn't the cut we saw, which he wouldn't have approved of, in which it was 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. Apart from the Force Ghost, there were other crucial and emotional scenes missing. The cut they released and looked chopped and taped backwards together with weak Scotch tape. Oh my god, that's exactly what it felt like. The cut they released looked chopped and taped back together with weak Scotch tape. I need to take a picture of that because that is the best thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have to. No, I don't want to take a picture of myself. That's gold. JJ, you're an icon. I love you. Um, the movie opened with Rey's training. Her first scene with Rose was shortly after Rey damaged BB-8 during the training. Rose made a silly joke about how Poe is going to kill her for damaging BB-8. There was a moment where Rey took a minute to process what just happened when she saw the vision during training. I thought that's a minute, or moment, and my brain was like, no, two different words. Okay, sorry. She looked distressed and worried. The next scene was the nose of the Falcon as it was landing. God, this is so poorly written. And Rey runs over there. Those two women who kissed at the end were visible in this shot and were holding hands. One of them ran towards the Falcon as it lands. I'm just so confused by a whole lot of this stuff. Like, why are you gonna add two women kissing if you're not even gonna make them main characters kiss? But like, whatever. Okay, Kylo on yeah, that place. Kylo's on that place scene was 2 minutes longer. There was a moment where Kylo seemed a bit dizzy, and his vision was shown as blurry for a second, almost as if his time had stopped. Time half stopped, while everyone in the background was slow motion fighting. Kylo heard Vader's breathing, then, oh snap, that would have been dope. Then shakes his head, and time goes back to moving at a normal pace, and he jumps right back into battle. The scene from the trailer where he knocks the guy down, which did end up in the movie later. I would have been down for Kylo to hear Vader breathing. I would have been down for that. It would have been weird, but I would have been down for it kind of. I was like, like if like Vader was telling him, go to the light side of the Force. Don't make the same mistake I did. Sorry, my brain just said, you were the chosen one. Sorry. Just like, my brain's like, I have to. Okay. They cut some of the scenes from the light speed skipping segment. I'm sorry, this is an hour and 31 minutes long. I'm trying to get through everything. I'm trying to like make both of us understand. Like, I know nobody's gonna watch this because this is gonna be old news by the time I get this uploaded. I'm just like, I don't know what to say anymore. Um, okay. They cut some of the scenes from the light speed skipping segment. Some of the planets that were cut were Naboo, that, and that one. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce them. The scenes where the TIE fighters were chasing them through the iceberg, those corridors were inspired by the video game JJ used to play in the 90s called Rebel Assault 2, the third level of the game with the tunnels on Endor specifically. Jahan was confirmed to be Lando's daughter. That's what I was gonna say. Like, yeah, I kind of figured. When they had the scene after, like, on the bench together, like, I was like, yeah, I got a funny feeling about this one. But I was gonna say, if, like, Leia and Lando, and had Finn, that could have been his connection. But, like, I don't think Leia would have done that to Han. Like, I don't know what the. Maybe it was before, maybe it was after. I don't know. Oh, no. But it would have to be after. Because here's the thing. If you look up how old Ben's supposed to be, he's like in his 30s. And, like, Rey and Finn are like in their young ages and Poe's older than Ben. It's like the the age differences are like all messed up. And I was talking in the car about like how it wasn't likely that that Palpatine had a kid, because he would have to actually, unless he created him, he would have to, create him in a different fashion with a person, um, a woman, they would have to. But he could have physically created him with, the Force or whatever, and all that, and then he could have had the kid. But I I don't know. But it doesn't make sense if he would have legitimately had to have a kid with a woman, because the timeline would have been different. Like, he would have been old and crusty by that time. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It was just something I thought of, and I was like, really wish I had thought of that. But okay, whatever. Okay, Rey not only healed Kylo's face scar, but she killed Kylo when she not only healed Kylo's face scar, but she killed Kylo when she healed Ben. Kylo ceased to exist when Rey healed him. My source mentions that some people assumed it was Han Solo who healed him, but that isn't true. And that wasn't Han Solo. Right? Oh! What? 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 My brain is thrown off. Okay. That was Leia using her own memories as well as Ben's to create a physical manifestation of his own thoughts to nudge him towards what he needed to do. That was her way, only way of communicating that with him, and it wasn't possible without her dying in the process. She made the ultimate sacrifice for her son, and this flew over people's head with the Disney cut. Yeah, I did not know that. I knew that it couldn't have actually been Han because he wasn't one with the Force. So he couldn't have like gone into the Force stream or wherever everybody else is going because he wasn't one with the Force. So I figured it was like an illusion of what he created in his head, but that didn't fit right. Like I felt honestly that if Leia would have just manifest herself, it would have been better. But at the same time, I feel like I'm happy with it being Han because I felt like they had more of a connection, and there was more of a regret towards him than to Leia. But if that would have been like a goodbye moment where she could have like said goodbye to him. But I felt like it was better with Han though because he wouldn't see him in the Light Force or the Force Stream or whatever the frick it's called, but he would see Leia, so he would be able to say goodbye to his mom or say hello to his mom when he got there with her. So I think that it was beautiful to have being Han, but the fact that Leia created that blows my mind. I'm just like, what the frick? I thought he just did it himself, that it was nudging him to do it. I didn't know that she was making the ultimate sacrifice. But the thing that gets me is that she didn't fade away after she did this. Like, she was still holding on until he faded, and then she could. Like, she wanted to hold his hand together. Like, but this makes it seem like she should have died right then. I don't know. Okay. The late November cut, the last cut JJ approved of, had scenes with Rose and Ray still. JJ wanted to give her a more meaningful arc. Disney felt that that was too risky, too. My source mentions that Chris Terrano said that it was because of the Leia scenes, but this is only particularly true because she had 4 other scenes, including 2 with Ray slash Daisy that Leia was not in. Okay, so they didn't want Rose in there pretty much. Okay. Well, that's just rude. Like I like Rose. Like she's a great character. I don't like how she just randomly showed up and started to do stuff as a main character. Like if they would have just given her an easy a way to ease in. Like yeah, the beginning with her sister, like I get that, but it just felt wrong. It just felt wrong. And I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt wrong. Um um but I love Rose, and I hate that they did her so dirty. Finn wanted to tell Ray something. It was supposed to, yeah. Um, yeah, and then that's when Force sensitive. Uh, Babu Frick was nearly cut because some of the execs at Disney thought he would be the new Jar Jar. They are really surprised that people love him this much. He was JJ's idea and was created in collaboration with some artists and puppeteers. The personality was all JJ. Jar Jar is a piece of garbage and I hate him to death. But I also love him because he's iconic and I love him. But no, how could you get Jar Jar off of that? That little tiny creature. No. Idiots. Pieces of trash. Jump on a volcano. Along with all the other pieces of trash. Um, there are a bunch of scenes where Rey and Kylo separately went through quiet moments of reflection to deal with what they were going through. On her part, she's going through the realization that there's something sinister about her past, him going through the regret and remorse, but trying to shut it down. My sources say that Kylo's scenes were especially amazing because of Adam's performances and how much he managed to portray the inner turmoil. It provided much more context and added deeper meaning to both his battle and Rey. Um, and the final redemption arc at the end, it didn't happen so suddenly, and it was more structured than what we got. Yeah, it was too quick. It was too fast. It didn't give me enough time to accept it. and to be able to be sorry for him. And that's why a lot of people were iffy on it, because it was just, I don't know, it was too fast. Like, I didn't feel his pain. I didn't connect. Like, the characters are made for you to be able to connect with them in a certain way. Rey's connection was that she was a loner. She was somebody who didn't really have anybody with her, but she was still able to thrive and still be able to be. And she was supposed to be an inspiration to be. If you ever feel low, don't let that stop you. Poe was supposed to be the, sometimes you have your moments of, you know, pure jerkiness, or like, don't hide who you really are behind a persona, because whenever he would show emotion, or he would be upset, or he would, you know, even at the end when he accepted his defeat, I felt like that was forced to be him accepting it, but at the same time I appreciated that moment, and it felt like sorrowful, because, you know, he was truly accepting that maybe this time we can't win and it was my fault. But I felt like they didn't drag that scene on long enough for me to feel for him, to to you know, like, I shed a tear during that scene. I was like, oh my god, I'm about to lose Poe, and I was like, oh my god, I can't lose Poe. But I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was there long enough before, you know, the day was saved or whatever. So I don't know. I feel like they didn't structure the characters enough. Like, this is our farewell moment. This is our goodbye moment. It's like, I don't know. I don't know. I just felt like the characters were so terribly developed. None of them really had all that time to become who they were supposed to be. They were never who they were supposed to be. They just kind of got there. And I feel like none of them truly evolved as characters. Like, you could still look back and be like, yeah, he's an ex-stormtrooper, he's a terrible pilot, and she's just a random girl. Like, you can still touch that and feel that and be like, yeah, that was just yesterday. And and there's supposed to be somebody better. I mean, Finn doesn't really have anything. He's still an ex-stormtrooper. Like, what did his character get in the end? Nothing. He didn't get a girl or a guy, or, you know, force powers, because Disney decided to cut that. He didn't get anything. He's just a guy. And Rey is just a girl who had terrible childhood powers, and is, you know, one with the Force. Like, that's not really a big jump. You were there in the first movie. Where's the jump? And Poe, we knew he was gonna get there eventually. And since Carrie Fisher passed away, we kind of knew it was gonna happen. There was no other option for him. If Carrie Fisher wouldn't have passed away, it would have been a shock. It would have been something. But it wasn't. She kind of spoiled it for us. And I love her to death. And I'm sorry that she passed away. And I know she didn't mean it, but it just felt so predictable. And that's one of the things you don't want. And, you know, when we found out Luke and Leia were siblings, it was like, oh my god. You know, the whole time we didn't know it, and then boom, it happened. It's just, there's certain things that it's just like, that's plot twist. That stuff is a plot twist. This is not. None of this was. Not in a single movie did I ever feel like there was a plot twist. Because as soon as they did something, it was immediately undone. The Screen Rants video, the pitch meeting that Ryan does, it was amazingly accurate. Like, everything he does is accurate. I love that man to death. Like, I truly do. Like, his stuff is the only reason I'm subscribed to Screen Rants, so that I can see it when it's uploaded. Nothing else. Every time I get a notification for something else, I'm like, I don't want that. I want him. Because when he did the Rise of Skywalker pitch meeting, it was so on point with everything that was done was immediately undone. The whole thing with Chewie, the whole thing with, you know, Poe, it was immediately undone. You know, all that emotion you just felt was immediately wiped away. And like I knew the Chewie thing was coming out. They can't. They ain't. Like they just don't want to. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So for them to take out all this structure for a character is painful because it's like one of my favorite things about playing a video game is the development of a character. You get to see a character develop. That's why I love The Walking Dead so much, the Telltale game, because you get to see Clementine over 4 years, 5 years, something like that, just develop into who she was meant to be. You got to see that. You got to see her struggle. And it's so pure, it's so precious, and I love her. And it's just like, it's so painful to just know that there are characters in movies and television shows and stuff like that that don't get that. They don't get that chance to become an actual historic character. Like the whole thing with Sam and Dean in Supernatural is that they had time to become who they were supposed to be. They had growth. And I haven't seen anything about this season, but knowing that it's ending, it's just like they are ending it the way they want to end it. And that's how a character should end. And that's what an actor should be able, especially to have creative influences with the ending of their character because they want to do that character justice. Because that was a character that was made for them and they were made for that character. And it's like they have to have creative justice on that character. They have to. It's disrespectful if they don't. And to know that this is a fictional character based on fiction. If it's based on a true person, then it's like you don't really have a choice. You have to stay true to what that person did. But it's a fictional character. And to be an actor, I cannot imagine how painful it would be to not have justice on that character. And for them to cut this, it's painful. Absolutely disgraceful. And it's like I wanted to see the the time of redemption. And I don't know. It's the same thing with Loki in a way. It's just I felt rushed. Like I had to forgive them. The Kylo Ren scene, yeah, that was a lot sooner. Yeah. Um, okay, 4 minute longer. That if he wasn't, then it might have been an earlier draft. Yeah. Um, yeah, he was against the kiss. JG was not happy with where The Last Jedi took the story, and the final result is a mix of the story and the story told by Disney and whoever they tried to impress, certainly not the fans. JJ is gutted over the final result. Star Wars means a lot to him. He has sacrificed a large chunk of the story in The Force Awakens, but he was promised more creative control in The Rise of Skywalker. And instead, the leash they had on him was only tightened as time went by. The source said that this is the one franchise and the one piece of his work that he didn't want to uh okay didn't want to mess up, and instead it turned okay question mark okay JJ's cut still existed and will always yeah. And so there you have it. If there are questions, I will try to follow up with my source, but it's up to them if they want to share more, so I cannot guarantee the answers. Yeah, and this was the final thing with the Finn and Poe thing. It's absolutely insane. Yeah, I read that one, and this one. Yeah, and then that, and then that's the rest of it. Oh, and there's something else. Oh no, that was just it. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else that anybody has said afterwards. I finished laughing. I felt bad for the people who believe. Mm, yeah. This sounds like a huge conspiracy theory that I believe 100%. Um, I'm not entirely convinced that this is true, but trust me, I definitely want to believe it. Find out who the source is would probably help, but that's not gonna happen. Yeah, because um, to stay anonymous, they need their job pretty much. Yeah, the whole Finn Poe relationship, they definitely weren't ready. Oscar Isaac said it. Um, yeah, this has gone down there. Okay, and then just seeing if anything pertains to anything that has happened. Okay, they never said anything bad about J.J. Hughes, my friend. Yeah, make this trend. Yeah, it's like how long was the right Skywalker? Nope, Rise. If I can type, that'd be great. This Rise of Skywalker was 2 hours and 22 minutes. So about 30 minutes was cut. 30 minutes about was cut. That is no more than that. Actually, about 40 minutes was cut because hold on, 32, 42, 52, 62. Yeah, because it was 3 hours and 2 minutes long. So that's about 40 minutes that was cut out of the actual movie. That is insane. That is insane. That is insane. That budget is insane. But they got their money back. I'm gonna gladly move that down. I upvoted it because I was like, yeah, it was okay. Not necessarily logical, but emotional. Yeah. Yeah. What happens when money because Paramount and franchise building? Yeah. I rate it a 1. A solid 1. That's it. That's all I want. Yeah. Yeah. 3.6. You know what? Let's read some audience reviews. Let's go all the way. Can we? We can't see the worst ratings first? We could go. Where's is burned by the Last Jedi, so I went in with open eyes. Yeah, it's a mess. If you want to read all of those, then you can, but I'm not going to. But here's the thing, I never looked at any of the trailers or anything like that. I don't watch trailers anymore because it spoils too much of the movie. So it's like for all of this to have been a thing that was going to happen just makes me so mad that it's just like what did Disney expect? All of this is gonna get leaked. All of this like so much of the internet is as soon as we get something, we're gonna run with it, regardless if it's true or not. It doesn't matter. It's just like, my God. The way they did not structure the movie properly, like, we were just supposed to find this stuff out on Twitter. Yeah, there are so many plot holes in the movie, I am mad, yeah. Oh, it was definitely real, not made up, tells me. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I 100% agree with that. Thank you. You did not just cut out Darth Vader. Okay, now I know what that was pertaining to, because I was like, what? That's absolutely nothing. It was not included in the film. It's not fair. Yeah. I love Anakin. I love him so much. Yes, I do have a crush on Anakin. Shout out. I had a crush on him before he murdered children. Oops. Yeah. It's like, this is what I spend my time doing, just looking at pictures of, or videos of just him. Okay, anyways. Um, yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's crazy, because it's like, it's crazy, because, yeah, let's cut Darth Vader's ghost, just bury his lightsaber in some sand or something. He won't mind, even though he literally said he hates sand. Excuse me? That's not fan service. That's just making us upset. It's like, how dare you? It's just.
With Kylo Ren, that is, but I feel like the story for Rey, her connection with Kylo Ren, that is really at the heart of the emotional story in this movie, and the things you're talking about are very much the things that the movie talks about. But I feel like the story.
Yeah. If every person in the world gives $10, we can buy Star Wars from Disney. What? I'd be so down for that. We could cut out the middleman and each the rich. What? Here's the thing. But who would be the complete owner of it? We can't all have like $10 of share in it. Like somebody has to be a complete owner of it. Come out. It didn't come out of its farm and film a scene just to cut it. Yeah. He still loves Star Wars so much, even though he completely disrespected by Disney. I'm sick of it, yeah. Let the man chill on his farm. Jesus. Yeah. Okay, so if we got JG's vision, we could have had Force sensitive Finn in action, Rey Solo, no kiss, um, Finn Poe, Rose's arc, and Mortis. Okay. And Force Ghost. Yeah, Rey Solo. I'm very confused about that. Yeah, I don't know what Mortis is. What is that? Um, I'm very confused on that. Oh, Mortis is a planet. Mm, I don't remember that, but okay. I don't know what that is, but okay. Like I would have been okay if Ben had had more of a redemption arc and had more of everything explained. If him and Ray then did end up together and get married and stuff like that, but I don't know, it just felt so forced. Like he didn't have his redemption yet. He didn't do anything good. Like there was nothing. He saved her. That was it. Like that was it. It's like I get that he was always supposed to die, and I get that a lot of people don't like him and Ray together, and I get that. I'm down for that. Like I understand, but it's like if you were going to make that happen, why not? It's like Disney just screwed everything up. It's like don't force them to get together if there's no reason for them to. You're literally making her marry or kiss a child murderer. It's like, that's not how this works. Yeah. I was so confused by their just voices because I was trying to place whose voice it was because like I literally didn't get it until like I still didn't get it. Like I 100% didn't. Because when that scene happened, I was like, what the heck is happening? What's going on? Because like I heard voices, but my brain couldn't place them without a face. Like I know that just makes me a terrible fan, but I'm like, I seriously couldn't. Like I'm 100% serious. Like I honestly could not. Um, how
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh?
because it's like I didn't know who they were until afterwards. It's just like it's a mess because it just makes me so mad. But that's honestly true. That right there, Marvel and Star Wars fans really after realizing how messed up Disney is, because we're just like Marvel's in it too because it's like y'all screwed so much up. It's just like ugh. Yeah. Whoa, what? Maybe not that part, but definitely the part above it. That. Like, it just felt so forced, and it was just like, I hate this so much. Yeah. It's just like, there's so much stuff, and it's so painful, because it's just like, um, let us see if, yeah, like, look at that. It's just so forced. Like nobody was okay with it. Um, let's see if I know JJ has a nothing. Okay. Um, um, okay. Okay. Trying to think of who else we could go to for a Twitter. Um, people. Yeah, it's like there's a 3 hour cut of the film. It's like we're okay if it's like not goodly, like perfectly edited. We're okay if it's not like full on done. We just want to see that it exists and that, you know, everything. It's like you better release the dang thing without making us go to theaters or something. It's like it's yeah, very straightly. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Racist, corrupt. Mhm. And homophobic. You forgot that part, but whatever. It's just oh, shut up. Well, it's no. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah, that's exactly. For that person who just said that, that is absolutely 100% false. Because here's the thing, the voices were there. The voices were very clearly there. To have just the voices there is so stupid. So for that reason, yes, that's true. There were supposed to be somebody there because those were the voices of those people. That is guaranteed. So for them to just have a voice for those younger kids or the people who didn't grow up watching the originals when they happened, or people who didn't really care about the originals coming into this and they just wanted something, to see, they probably wouldn't have understood right off the bat that that's who those voices were. I didn't get it because the voices were so subtle and that my brain doesn't cooperate that fast with my hearing sometimes. So that was kind of like hard for me to get. Um, but I was like, I know these voices, but I can't place them because I just couldn't do it. Um, so if they needed a body for the younger people to understand that that's who those people were, because just off the voices, it's very hard and it's very subtle. So it's just like, okay. And then you're trying to absorb everything that's already happened. It's just like, I need a break. Um, but that's that's completely true. There had to be. If there wasn't supposed to be, that's insane. That's absolutely insane. Um, because it's so baloney. Um, the whole thing with Finn Poe, that's 100% right. Uh, I don't think Disney was ready, and I don't think that Disney was smart enough to do it. I think the whole thing with the kiss, 100% true. I think that was 100% forced thing that wasn't supposed to happen. Um, so for like everything else, I don't really have a whole thing on. And the fact that Finn was supposed to be force sensitive, yeah, that's 100% true. 100%. It was shown in the movie. It was shown. So for some people to call this out and say some of this is fake, I don't know. I can't give my opinion on all of it because I don't know what half of it means. It's more for you to know what half of it means. But I don't know. After looking at this, it's just like I hate Disney so much because it's just so blood boiling that they would do this and think it was okay. So for the people who are saying Disney is homophobic, racist, corrupt, doing this only for the money, they are 100% correct because they almost didn't cast John, and the fact that that was a thing is disgusting. Disgusting. And looking at all these other Disney movies and everybody who's been pushing for certain things in those and seeing this now is just like, yeah, why did we ever think that they would be okay with casting more, you know, African American people or casting any person that's not white in any of their roles? I mean, look at all the backlash that they have gotten from not adding, people of color, you know, or people of anything other than, you know, what they've got. And it's insane that they are so corrupt that they can't even look past their own flaws to see that the fans and the people around the world want to see more representation. It's insane that they are so self-centered and pieces of garbage that belong in a volcano. Like when I say they belong in a volcano, I mean I really just want to chuck them to a volcano because it's just so insane. Like I know there's some people there that work hard to get the representation that they believe that is needed and that is needed. But those other people, the stockholders, the investors, the top heads of Disney are the ones that are truly to blame. I don't know everybody at Disney, and I don't know if they're all to blame or if just a small group. But regardless, Disney is a problem, and there's nothing we can do about it. Like I said before, I said about 2 hours ago, that even if everybody in the whole world stood up against the small group or the group of Disney, there is no beating it. There is no winning. If every director in the world said we're not going to make another movie, they themselves would make a movie. I don't know if it'd be good, it probably wouldn't, but they'd make a movie. And they would force us to be fans. There's no way to beat them. And I'm usually somebody who is very like, let's do it, but I don't see us winning. And I know that not everybody in the world is going to rally up, because half the people in the world, no, a small group of people in the world are racist, are homophobic, are just as corrupt as Disney. And as long as those people are still fans of Disney, then there is no hope for the rest of us that are not pieces of trash that belong in volcanoes. And I'm sorry for a volcano. Like, I know that's very disrespectful to send the trash is trash to you, but you can handle them more than I can. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole situation. Um, it's a mess. I hate it. I really wish none of this would have happened, and that JJ was given the creative opportunity that he was promised, because he was promised it. I do believe that. I believe that um, the corporation just absolutely screwed him over. Um, and it's insane. It's insane that this has been a thing that's happened, and that is a thing that is currently happening and has, you know, still been happening. It's insane. It's just I don't know how to explain it anymore. It's just like okay. Um, but yeah, hopefully you guys can form your own opinions based on everything that I've shown you. Um, I love you guys lots. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you you know, enjoy this or can summarize this for your friends later. I hope all of this is true and I give you the most accurate information. Probably not, but you can form your own opinion on what you believe is true, what you believe is fake. I've informed my own opinion and I've told you my own opinion. Um, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that it was so long, but it needed to be said. So I love you guys lots, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.